This episode sponsored by Lake Monster Details, producing the Don's Light and Magic Legacy line of parts, offering upgrade parts and decals for accuracy, special effects, and lighting. Visit www.lakemonsterdetails.com and make it glow. Also sponsored by G-Cals, producing aftermarket replacement decals and custom quality graphics for your favorite spaceships. Visit www.gcals.company.site and add some personalization to your sci-fi models today. Modeling from the Ensign's Chair is proud to partner with Models for Troops, a 501c3 charity that provides model kits, model supplies, and scale model literature to aid disabled and injured veterans suffering from PTSD, traumatic brain injury, and other post-combat related issues. Please visit www.modelsfortroops.com for more information and to find out ways you can contribute, because a model is more than just plastic. What's up, modelers? Will here. Welcome to Modeling from the Ensign's Chair. This is episode 10 of the 1/1400 scale Enterprise C build, and we're just about done with the sub-assemblies. This episode I'm going to go over how I did the lighting on the secondary hull. You can see at this point I pretty much got it all together. I've got some quite a bit of seam work and then repainting to do, which is alright. It shouldn't be a big issue. Get these seams done and get the repaint done on it, and get a little bit of light blocking I got to work on it. And then there's a couple issues I'm working on as far as the lights, which I'll talk about in the video once we get to it. So sit tight, we'll get to that. Here is the completed saucer from last episode, all lit up. And you'll see I got the putty are on the seams here. So I got to do some sanding there. And again, obviously I got to do some repainting, and that'll be good to go. And we already got the pylon wing and the nacelles good to go, so they're ready to go. So at that point, once we get the secondary hull done, we pretty much got 3 components to get tied together. So this is episode 10. I'm thinking by episode 12, maybe 2 more episodes, we'll have this done and nailed down, and we'll call this good to go. So I'll also talk about in this episode, I'll go over my flashlight part that I used to make my dish here. So it looks like lights up pretty nice in the camera. So we'll talk about this. We'll go over how I did that, and we'll talk about this secondary hull. So give me a minute. I'll put you on the bench. We'll get to work. All right, so here's where I'm at with the secondary hull. You can see I've got 3 LED strips in here, and I put them on one side. That way I can put the halves together. That way they're in place and I can do all the wiring. So I've got these all together. This one up here, I'm going to tell you, I had to cut a little bit more off of. You can cut this all the way up to where the diode is, and it's not going to keep it from working. And I actually cut it all the way there, and then I cut a little bit of this corner off on it to make it fit into this area, and it fits just right. I was able to run the wires off the back of this and into this one, and I just linked them all together. I'm not too worried about the connections coming apart. What you can see as I've done is once I got them in place, they were soldered in place, and then once I got the LED strips where I wanted them, I hot glued them in place, and I made sure I put some hot glue over the wires at the ends here that kind of give them a little extra support, make sure they don't come out of place. Also to hold these strips in place, because I don't want them coming out of place and then it's not going to look good. So I don't trust just the adhesive on the strips. I went and hot glued these all in place, and you can see here I left enough slack in this wire here so that when I put that pylon wing in place, it's not going to interfere with it, and it'll have room for that wing to come in, and this won't block it. So I've done that. I've run the wires, the LED strip down, and the final wire I've just got down here right now while I've tested the lights out. You can see a little bit of black here too. I put a little bit of tulip around this back edge where the pylon wing has to slide in. And this tulip, you can build up a little bit of a bead on it. I only put it on the inside edge. I didn't put it to where it would mess with where I need to put the glue to hold it, to glue it in place. Just on the inside edge, I just put a little bead of tulip. Hopefully that's going to help with not having light leaks there when I put that wing in place, and I don't have to do as much to block, you know, for light blocking in that once I get the pylon wing on here. So hopefully that'll help. We'll see when we get to that point. But at any rate, that's done. Everything's wired up and ready to go. I only need, like I said, I only need the 3 LED strips to light this up decently. And let me put this together real quick and we'll take a look at how this is lighting up. Hook this battery in. There we go. Let me turn this light off so you can see a little bit better. But you can see how it's lighting it up nice. It's nice, even lighting. That little bit of white that I painted on the inside is kind of helping the light bounce around, and it's lighting all the windows. This is a little bit brighter up here because obviously it's not together. Once I get everything in place, that'll tone that down a little bit. But I've also got to work on this back part here. I got all the windows drilled out, and this is where the impulse engine is. So what I'm going to do is get this together, put this in place, and see if that ambient lighting inside there, because basically this is going to be facing this LED strip right there. So that is probably going to light it enough to where I don't have to worry about adding another LED. But I want to test it out and see, because I just want to make, because that light is pointing out and not towards this, I just want to make sure that it's going to light it up decently and it's going to look nice, hopefully. So I'm going to test that out and see how that looks, and get this all put together. But before I go do that, let's take a look at, I also worked on the deflector dish here, and that's what you see sitting over here. I actually did a little bit of testing with this with the kit provided dish. This is the kit provided dish. And what I did was I painted, I made a little masking kit, a masking set to help with being able to paint these white kind of spoke areas, I guess you can call them. And what I did was I tried painting it on the outside here, and if I wasn't lighting the model, this is probably the way I would do it. I would just paint these white lines on the outside here. But because I'm lighting this model and I'm trying to keep it close to looking like the studio model, this is just too pronounced, these white lines on the outside. So I ended up not doing that. I didn't like that idea. So what I did on the actual part from Lake Monster Details was I painted the white lines on the inside using my masking kit, masked it off, painted the white lines on the inside, and you can see the results of that. What I actually did was first I painted the blue, used my Tena clear blue on the inside, and then I masked, lined up my masks with these raised areas here and painted white on top of that blue. So what you're seeing there is that white kind of reflecting through the blue, which is really close to what the studio model looks like when you look at pictures of it unlit. So I think it looks really nice. It's kind of the look I'm going for. That's what I wanted. And then on top of that, let me connect this to the battery. Once you hook this up and light it, you can see that you can see those lines, but it's not, in person it's not as pronounced as what the camera is showing. It's a little more pronounced in the camera than what it is in person, but it really gives a nice look to it. The way that LED kind of sits back off of it, it gives a lot of depth to it. So when you're looking at it from different angles, it has a little bit of a different look to it. So the way I did that was I went out to Walmart, and you can go to Walmart, you can go to the dollar store, anywhere that sells flashlights. And basically I found a flashlight, a small flashlight that looked about the right size, and brought it home, took it apart, and kind of trimmed down the cone here a little bit so that it would fit over the dish. And it turned out really nice. This back part, the back hole here, had just happened to have about a little bit more than the 3mm hole to it. So just enough for my LED to fit in. I got it together, hot glued everything together, including the LED, got that in position, hot glued it. And it turned out really nice. I used some more tulip to kind of light block so I didn't have any light leaks coming from this interfering with the inside lights. And like I said, I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I think it turned out really nice. It has the effect that I want. So it's going to look good once I get it together. And just to point out, you do have to, on the kit part and on the part from Lake Monster Details, you do have to light block this ring on the outside here. And again, I had a little mask set that I made for this that helped so that I could easily paint this. But I light blocked this with my flat black primer, and then I came back over it with, this actually gets the dark blue is used on the dish. So painted this with the darker blue, and turned out really nice. I like it. It's going to look good. I think once I get it together, we're going to find out here shortly, because I'm going to get this thing put together and we'll come back and take a look at it. I do want to mention though that in putting this piece out of the flashlight on here, it was a lot easier to do with Cass's part from Lake Monster Details, because the kit part has these pieces on it that stick out. And I've already dremeled them off, but they had these parts, you can see where I dremeled them, that stuck out, and the piece from the cone from the flashlight wouldn't fit on there. So I ended up having to dremel those off to get it to fit on there. Now on Cass's part from Lake Monster Details, there's only a small part, a small little nub on there to help line it up with when you put it inside the secondary hole here. So it didn't interfere with this cone going on at all. It didn't have to do anything to it. It glued right in place, and really happy with the way it turned out. So give me a little bit. I'm going to work on getting the secondary hole together now that I've showed you how the lighting setup is going to work in this. And we'll get it all together. I am going to put a strobe on this back, right behind where my mounting rod's going to go. And this is my mounting rod I'm going to use. And you can see if I Dremel out this depressed area right here, this is going to fit perfectly in that hole. And I'll be able to mount it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a flashing strobe on the back here. I think there should be one. There's not one on the studio model, but I think pretty much all your other Enterprises have a flashing strobe on the belly. Just about all of them. I have to look to, can't swear that all of them do, but I'm pretty sure they all do. Have at least a flashing strobe on the bottom here. So I'm going to put one on here just to keep it in line with all the other ones. So I'm going to work on getting this together and getting the deflector ready and getting this hopefully close to where we can start putting everything together. So give me a little bit and we'll come back and take a look at it. Alright, so here's kind of a first look at a little mock-up. I haven't glued the saucer and the secondary hole together, just kind of got them wedged together right now. Mainly because I wanted to take a look at the brightness of the secondary hole compared to the saucer, and you can tell it's quite a bit brighter than the secondary hole is quite a bit brighter than the saucer. So what I'm going to do is, mainly the issue is not too many LED strips, it's just that there's too many bunched up together where I've got, I had that one up top here and that one on the bottom here, back towards the back here, and you can kind of see how much brighter it is back here. There's just too many in one spot. So this is glued together, and I've actually already started working on, turn this back on, working on putting up some of the seams you can see. So I've got a lot of sanding to do around the saucer edge here, and redoing this midsection here on the secondary hull. And so what I'm going to do is, it's too late to kind of go in and mess with the wiring. I don't think I need to anyway. What I'm going to do is probably take some tulip and put it on the tip of a brush and block out. Let me see if I can pull this apart, and if you can look in here and see. It's kind of bright in there. I don't think the camera's going to pick it up, but what I'm going to do is go in here, and where those two strips are kind of above and below each other back in the back there, take a little tulip and just black out one or two of the diodes and see if that tones it down enough. And worst case scenario, it doesn't, and I haven't really done a whole lot on the seams. I can crack it back open if I have to and reconfigure the lighting. The other option too is to just put an inline resistor from this wire that's run into there and try to tone them all down. But the thing with that is, I'm kind of happy with the way the lighting is up here. And with the way it is up the front, it's mainly the back here. So if I put an inline resistor in here, it's going to bring it all down. And this area back here is still going to be noticeably brighter than the neck section and the front edge of the secondary hull here. So I think the best thing to do is go back and block out. I'm going to try blocking out one, and if that's not enough, I'll block out a second one on the top here. But I'm going to start blocking out one on the bottom here. Just block out one diode, see if that brings it down enough. If not, I'll block out one on the top here. And that should be enough between the two if I have to go that far to bring this lighting down a little bit in the back here. So that's what I'm going to do with that. And as you can see, like I showed you, I got a lot of seam work to do. And then I'm going to have to do quite a bit of repainting. So rather than drag us out, through another week, I'm going to just make this a short episode. I think this will be the shortest one of the series so far. Probably going to be less than 20 minutes at least. So at any rate, I'm going to work on that stuff and get that all together. I've got some other things going this weekend too that I'm going to work on. So we'll get that done. We'll just call this the episode for this weekend. Come back next episode. I should be ready to, I'll review anything I need to if I made any changes or that. And we should be ready to start assembling all these parts. So at any rate, guys, thank you again, everybody, for watching, and I appreciate it. All the new subscribers, thank you for signing up and watching these videos, and hopefully you're getting something out of them. And please, if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button down below. If you don't want to subscribe, please hit that like button. Maybe leave me a comment. Let me know what you think, if you got any useful information out of any of these videos, or out of this one in particular for this episode. And we'll come back, like I said, next episode, and we'll go over some things. But again, thank you to my sponsors, Gus over at G-Cows, and Cass over at Lake Monster Details for sending in those nice Bussard parts. And I've also been talking to Cass too about possibly doing some, coming up with some accurizing parts for this kit. Hopefully there's a re-release coming for this soon. It's been almost 10 years since they did the previous re-release. So hopefully a new one's coming out, and we'll see. I'll talk to Cass some more, and we'll talk about it and see, if it's something he wants to pursue, and maybe come up with some accurizing parts. A BC deck needs to be redone, and there's a couple other things too that we've been talking about. So at any rate, thank you everybody again for watching. Till next time, keep modeling.